G'day guys, how you going? Hope that you're all well. Bit of a lunchtime stocky today. So look, to be quite honest, I've not been as stressed about my trades in Supercoach in a very, very long time. And time's just got the best of me. And all of a sudden it's like it's Friday and I haven't got the stock market done. So today there's going to be no fancy slides or the PowerPoint like I usually do. I'm literally just going to go through the app here and just discuss a few different players that we've got up our sleeve, because I'll tell you what, last night I was up to, I don't know, about 2:30, just racking my brain going, who do I actually get out? Who do I get in? Do I use two trades? Do I try to hold one up my sleeve? And I've just been going around the absolute twist. I'll tell you what, and I'm sure that many of you that will tune in today are feeling a little bit similar to me, just going around the twist, going, I want to make the right decision, but I just don't know what it is. So, well, what's the carnage? Well, it's probably up forward, a lot of it this week. Rankine's gone for a month. I think he's a must trade out, in my opinion. Obviously, Heaney gone for the week as well. Fisher is a big one. Lots of us have him up forward or back. Which what do we do there? He's playing VFL, so that's been confirmed that he's playing VFL this week, which tells me he's obviously fit and ready to go. So the fact that he hasn't been named, alarm bells now for us there. We've obviously got Big Maxi who's out. We've got Tuke Miller in the midfield. When I say we as a collective, not me myself. That would just be absolutely terrible. And the big Governator, obviously Jeremy McGovern, will be out for at least a week. So timeframes on these blokes, I think we're pretty good for most of it. Just Fisher is probably the big one, a little bit unsure on. Gawn, look, he wants to come back after a week off, but could it be 2? Could it be 3? I'm probably guessing 2 if I'm to guess at the moment. So, oh, geez, we've got a heap of comments here. Sorry, I didn't think we'd have many people on at this stage. I'm hoping the idea with the live was that I'll do it live now. I understand there's a heap of people that couldn't be watching, but I'm pretty sure that it just uploads as a video to the YouTube. I'm hoping that's the case anyway, or I'll make sure I'll do something. All right, Michael, Lunchtime Street, love it. Cheers, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, mate. For Rumour Mills, some guy rang up SEN this morning saying Houston will be a laid out. Really interesting, Mike. It's tough, isn't it, mate? What to take with a grain of salt. I don't know if anyone seen my Twitter post, but I called in as Bruce from somewhere and gave Spills a bit of a rev up that he was going to get drafted. The Destin were going to draft him was a bit of a troll one. So I don't usually do that, but I thought I'm going to get Spillsy with this one here. So look, hopefully that's not the case for Houston owners, mate. That would be shattering, wouldn't it? Aaron Camilleri, member of the channel. You can see the member symbol there. Appreciate you as a way, mate. Perfect lunchtime stroll. Hope you enjoy listening, brother. Joshua, hey, buddy. How are you, man? Can't believe I brought in Rankine last week. Oh, man, super unlucky. And I know many people that did, mate. You're certainly not the only one there, brother. Bring on the lunchtime chat. How are you, Causa? Welcome, mate. Good to have you on, buddy. Trade out Heaney for Jye Caldwell, Fisher for Isaac Rankine. Well, you got the Fisher one right, mate. Unfortunately, just what to do with Isaac. I think he's definitely a trade, buddy. Definitely a trade, that's for sure. Wolfie, another member of the channel. How are you, legend? Hey, dear. Hope you're going well. You too, brother. As you can see, the eyes are probably a little bit bloodshot here, mate. I was literally up all night thinking about this. I've been on a heap of potties this week. So went on with Al and James on the official Supercoach potty. They just put a lovely short out of me on X and all the rest. Thank you very much for putting that together, boys. So, yeah, really stoked. Honoured to be on with those guys. And it was Damo and Clarky footy mailbag, 2 legends on the Wednesday night. We do our potty on the Tuesday night. This morning, got with Tom. I was on Tom's channel from Supercoach mates, absolute legend as well. Talked a little bit of Lions, a little bit of Supercoach. So I have been getting around. I've been the Supercoach town bike lately, but yeah, really enjoy it. We've got a wonderful community, so good on you, Wolf. B. James P. Yeah, remember our man that gave us the insight that there was going to be a tag on Dacos that night on the ball, James. Good on you, mate. Afternoon, gents. What a pleasant surprise. Appreciate you tuning in, mate. As I said, I've really just ran out of time this week, man. I thought, look, I'm just going to go live while I can. discuss a few players, discuss the carnage, and pretty much I just need some people that I can cry with. I think there's about 40 people tuning in at the moment from what I can see. I've learned where to look now. There's like a little eye symbol where I can see people. Well, how many people are tuning in. So the 40 odd of us together, we can just cry through this together and hopefully find a few solutions anyway. All right. Gary Spillane, g'day, Gaz. 44th overall few weeks back, now in the 1600s. 5 trades, but having to plug a few holes. Heaney, Gawn, Miller, Sexton, and Fisher. Yeah, Sexton, Miller out. I've got Sexy Man as well. Do you know what? I'm leaning towards a fish out. We'll get to a few players soon, mate. I better actually get to these players. Who we got here? 12 hoops. G'day, man. I'm dying to only have 4 trades. Fish, Gawn, Rankine, Miller. Don't want to trade. Can field 22 with 4 rooks. That's the big question, mate. Now, I did put a members only video out where I went through some of my past ranks, and this is right back as far as I could get back 2014. I only had 30 trades back then, and I looked at 3 random years, and in each of those years, I had 7 or more, 7 minimum trades at this same stage in those seasons, and we had 30, and I had 7 left. Now I've got 4 myself, so it's amazing that we get given so many more trades, but still manage to blow them. So I'm going back to my Supercoach mentality, but I might do something similar, a public video, and go through some of my old ranks as well. All right, we'll get into this, boys and girls. Very quickly, I'll go through some of these quick comments. Wolfie, dealing with Miller, Gawn, Rank, and Heaney this week. 1 trade left. Man. Oh, it's only your 2nd year playing, Wolfie. I can't believe that, man. Well done. Like, awesome for your 2nd year. Like, your knowledge is already super, mate. So congrats for that. And yeah, look, when you're first starting out learning the game, you make a lot of mistakes. But look, seems like you're going really solid so far. So give yourself a pat in the back, mate. All right. All right, let's actually get into this. So I will just get the comment down for a sec. And then we'll have a look. I need to get onto this page here, don't I? All right. So I've got Rankine up here. And make sure that's the same screen. Yeah, Isaac Rankine. So look, the way that I see it, and I think this is a pretty obvious one, is a trade out. So we'll talk about the blokes that we think we need to trade out. He is certainly one that we do. So 4 weeks, you got to think that's 50% of the season. Now, other people say that if you've got some cover there, like you might have your Dowling, etc., your Brucey, who knows, that they can just cover, and then you'll have him for the back end. And that is absolutely true. But what's the points difference? Just say if you don't have someone like a Jye Caldwell, from going Rankine to Caldwell for those 4 weeks, as compared to having someone like a Bruce there. We saw with Bruce, gave me a 95 a couple of weeks ago, then a 30-odd last week. So how reliable these guys, even your Dowling, look good for a 60 to 70 maybe on a good day. But the difference in points there, if you're an overall player, I think is just too much for me. So I think that we've got to trade out Isaac. That's an easy one for me, in my opinion. You want to hold him, go for it. The next bloke we need to talk about, and I tell you what, I'm probably not the best bloke to go for advice, because this is a guy that's been keeping me up. It's Zach Fisher. So let's look at his scores. So for me, if I was to do my forward rankings, and I'm saying a fit Fisher, and keep in mind he is fit, this is where the issues and questions come into play. I've got him easily in my top 8 forwards. Easily. There's a big margin, I think, with the top sort of 6 to 8, and then drops off like a, you know what. But if we look at his scores here, you know, we go the 95, 140, 116, 113, 120, 71, 108, 83. So within the last month, still a nice 120, 108. Couple of disappointing scores. And when I say disappointing, 71 as a real flaw, and then 83. Not great, but still okay. Now, the big thing I know for lots of people, me included, is the fact that someone like a Fisher is actually technically our defensive cover as well. If you've got a Will Dawson there, and let's say a Zach Reid, like many of us still do. That's the big issue here. Is he going to come back, or is he going to be relegated to the VFL when they've been in good form? McKerch is now back, and he's such an elite player, much better player than Fisher, albeit younger. He's come back from injury. We get this. If Fisher does come back in, is he a sub candidate? We've already seen him as a sub before. So these are all the questions that are running through my mind at the moment with Zach Fisher, and I just don't have the answers. But one answer that I was really keen to get is he actually fit and available, or is he taken another week off completely? But given the fact news has come through that he's actually playing VFL, he's fit to play, he's fit to be selected. They haven't selected him, and he's not even an emergency. Does that mean maybe they want to get some game time into him? Well, he only missed the 1 week. You really need to get game time into someone after 1 week? I probably wouldn't lean that way. So for me, he's probably been excluded from the best 22 for now. And I'm spewing. I can't believe it. I thought he was such a safe pick. Bloody McKercher. So, look, it's up to you, and I still haven't made my decision, because I can see a world where, he comes back next week and gives us 90 pluses, which would be more than okay for me, just with the way things are going this season. Even if he drops off from that average, yeah, it's a real tough one. It's a real tough one. Sydney, Carlton, Geelong, Richmond, West Coast, Dogs, and then Hawks. So potentially some nice games in there for him if he comes back, but I'm not too sure. So at this stage, and it all depends on your trade situation, Rankine's got to take precedent, I think. But I think that someone like a Fish, if you've got the trades, then you probably look to move him on, in my opinion. Massive talking point here is my man Maxi, big Maxi. I'm obviously a Maxi owner. And I tell you what, I'm not going to do all the dog sounds and all that, because Spills let me down the other week, sounding like a chihuahua. Went into this Swordplay potty going, we're going to give a big bark for Dogger, and he did just nothing for that. Reckons he was clearing his throat and having a gargle or a drink or something. So I'll let you off, Spills, but I'm not going to go the big dog wolf. But Dogger owners, I tell you what, this is why we hold him, right? Our insurance policy, I've been saying the same thing every year. We go through the bad and the ugly just in case we need something really good for a week. And this week is number one Ruck in particular. This is going to do wonders for me in the short term anyway. But if you're someone that doesn't have your Dogger, doesn't have your Kruger, you don't have cover there, and you've got to trade him out, big decisions, because do you go up to someone like a Nank? Do you basically go completely sideways to a Sherry? Do you go down to someone like a Meek in order to get some more money in the bank to potentially make another move if you have to do that? So that's what I mean. This is very team dependent. If you're asking me, should I trade this player out? I can't say a definitive yes or no, because I need to have a look at your team, your trade situation. There's so much that's going on. Are you a league player? That's massive. That's a big one in this. If you're a league player, you hold on to Gawn most likely if you've got some form of cover. If you're right up there in the ranks, I say that a Gawn to Nank move could potentially net you bulk points and be a season-defining move. But you probably want Gawn for the run home, don't you? It's dangerous. Hey, if he does come back, what's he going to be like? If he pushes himself a little bit too early, is he going to lose his effectiveness and his damage? Will he lose some of that ruck time and maybe be potentially a forward option, allow someone else to spend some more time up there? There's just so many questions, and I just don't have the answers. I'd love to have the answers, but unfortunately I don't. So Maxi's a big discussion point. The other discussion point here is obviously, well, we say I dream of Isaac. It's been a nightmare, hasn't it? And look, I must admit that I do feel for Isaac, but he's gone for a week. There is no way in the world that I would be recommending trading out Isaac Heaney. He is 100% a hold for me. If you feel differently, again, you're blessed with trades. Is your major problem? Go for it. But for me, he's an absolute hold. So I'm not really going to discuss the trading out of Isaac Heaney. He'll be back with a vengeance, I think, as well. Hopefully he can really finish off the season strong. Remember how he started off? If he could finish that way, massive. He's tapered off a little bit though, hasn't he? Probably the other bloke. Oh, well, there's obviously two, isn't there? Awkward one with Tuke Miller is the price here. You're only working with 482. If you've got a low bank budget or balance like I do, then you're pretty much stuffed and your options are very, very limited here. And that's why the move of maybe Gawn to someone like a Meek may have to come into play for some people if you're, say, a Gawn Miller owner. and you need to move Miller on, but you just don't have the cash to bring in anyone that you like, the extra cash you could do by sacrificing someone like a Gawn and still getting another, well, premium, mind you, albeit no one near Gawn's standard. If that could allow you to upgrade your two to the bloke you really, really want to, that's when that play may actually come to fruition for some people. So team-dependent strategy here. But with Miller, but if he's your M8, you've got to get him out, absolutely. It's the options. Who do we go to? And hopefully we'll find a couple here. But, yeah, he's probably a trade out for me. And the other bloke is McGovern. Now, he's probably a hold if you can, but I know for lots of people, this is where some of the dicey cover comes into play. And I know that lots that have that 23rd type, man, if you're lucky enough, it's mainly that probably mid or forward option or mid forward DPP option. I don't think there's a heap that have a really solid option down there in the back line. The only people maybe if you've been running with a Dacos, a Sinclair in your midfield, you got a Sard or someone down back, swap, beautiful, you're in good stead there. But with McGovern, I'd be saying hold if you can, because it looks like he's only going to be missing the 1 week. Now, they say a minor punctured lung, is it a broken rib? He's a tough man, and initially some people saying 6 weeks. I don't think that's the case. I think it's 1 to max. Not a doctor. DR doesn't stand for doctor, so don't take that as gospel, but I would be holding if possible. So in a nutshell, we're holding McGovern if you can. We're holding Heaney. Rankine, we're trading. Took, we're trading. And then Gawn and Fisher are probably the question marks. So we've got 2 question marks, 2 trade outs, and then 2 that I'd look to hold. So big discussion is, who do we actually bring in for these blokes? So let's filter by forwards. And we also may take a quick look as well at some of the blokes that you may need to downgrade too, because some of us are still downgrading, and that's an option that we've got up our sleeve anyway. So I might make that a little bit bigger. All right, so we've got Isaac, who, well, actually, I'll make it smaller. Isaac, who we can't get in. He's obviously out, one of our problems for this week, but he's a hold. Flanders, I'm just assuming everyone has Flanders. I'm assuming basically everyone has Zorko. If you don't have Flanders or Zorko, like Flanders in particular, if you got the money to go up there, absolutely do it. Like, do that. I'm just assuming that people have these picks. Zorko the same. Look, 84 last week. It's not great, but at 573 is clearly going to be one of your better forward options. So absolutely get him in. Dogger is the man here that people are either bringing in as that extra forward option or as your number 1 ruck, replacing Gawn. I hate the replacement Gawn option because you'll love him this week when he's number 1 ruck. When Shrek comes back, I guarantee it's going to be a frustrating own. So, but do I like him as the insurance policy in your forward line? Yes, I do. And look at the price there, 476. If you're trading out a Fish even, for example, then he's the man that I'd look to bring in if you're a Gawn owner as well, given the fact you've got Livingston there or someone else you can DPP swap with. So Dogger's probably the man that's an obvious one if you're in that particular scenario. Sorry, this is a bugger going, scrolling down here. Dylan Moore's the other one. So Dylan Moore, I think, as a forward option, is definitely in the 6 that I'd like to have currently in my side. Now, we know that he's a roller coaster type option, and we've seen that this year. So we take a look at his scores here from round 1, 104, 44, 59, 98, 56, 116, 136, 140. So a beautiful 3-week stretch there. But he has this for a 3-week stretch. We go 76, 66, 73. So going, bugger, it's crap to own this guy again. Then 169, we're celebrating. 89, okay. 74, meh. 136, 103 last week. So I think all in all, one thing that you notice with Dylan Moore is that his ceiling actually balances out with his floor. So you're still going to get a pretty decent average. And if we're looking at our forward options, he's clearly one that you wouldn't mind having in your side. So Dylan Moore, I really do like as an option, but I don't like him as much as our man Jye Caldwell here. So 544, so we're paying up a little bit more, about 12K more. But at the same time, I think we're getting a much more reliable role. I think we're getting a much more reliable player in regards to range of scoring. 80s around his floor. And then, look, I didn't actually think he'd have consecutive, when I say ceilings, like we're not talking through the roof, but 127 and a 134, yeah, that's really nice as a forward. And we love selecting inside midfielders or predominant midfielders in our forward line. That's what we've had in the past as a real luxury. Think back to last year, the Butters, the Rosies, the Dunkleys, the Taranto types. We were just blessed with so many of these players. And Jye Caldwell is just at our feet at the moment with so much carnage up there. Your Rankine, your Fisher. I just think this is a bloke that you look to get in. This is not the most sexy option. I know that lots of the top 1%, this is the way the top coaches are going. If you look at the data, you look at his ownership numbers, this is who people want to have in their side up forward. So he's clearly the man that I'd recommend bringing in. I've gone over and over his numbers in the Stocky, so I'm not going to continue to do that now. I'm sure that you've probably tuned in for those ones. But CBA rate, fantastic. Probably only red flags I'll see here is the inclusion or potential inclusion of Darcy Parish. Spills reckons he's going to struggle to get a game. So we'll see what happens there. Even if Parish does come in, do you really want to change this bloke's mix at the moment? Probably not. And Brad Scott seems like a pretty switched on coach. So you'd assume that Caldwell will continue with that role, even with a couple of forces back. CBA rate may lower, don't get me wrong, but I think that his tackle count, that will really help to maintain that floor. And he's a contested beast as well and been getting a lot of the pills. So Caldwell, I think, is just the really, really obvious option. So if we're actually looking at average here, sorry, whenever I do this, it goes down way too much. All right, so if we go, see if I can control this. Yeah, it's a really obvious top 6, 7 with Caldwell. And then these are the options that we're faced with next. So we've got Wartsman, who's just been out of form. You got McKay, who's a key forward. And haven't we seen what it's like going in key forwards? We've seen what Curnow's done the last couple of weeks after looking sublime for that 118. You got Joey Danaher, who's the next cab off the rank here, and he's giving you a 48. It's the life of a key forward. So dangerous. Cameron all of a sudden is looking okay. You've got the 101 there, and Hogan 143. But remember, yeah, we've seen like 30 odds lately, haven't we? I'm pretty sure from Jesse. 32. So, you know, round 8, I've got it up here on the screen from 17, 61, 76, 114. Nice. But what? 61, 77, 86, 32, if you don't mind. 67, 143. Coming up against the Tigers this week, who knows? But remember, I used a bloody boost to get this bloke in before he was playing West Coast, I think it was, expecting a huge bag. Nah, just putrid stuff. Curnow was meant to slam these guys. That doesn't sound right, does it? But Curnow was meant to own these guys. When he played them, he simply failed. So there's no guarantees here that Hogan's just going to get a big one. But look, if you're that sort of player where you got a few sneaky extra trades, this could be a very short-term transaction, at least for a week, even though, who knows, but not for me. But this is a quality we're looking at here, folks. Your Guelphy is in next for average. Mr. Curnow, we don't need to go over him again. Like, big break even, and I just don't know what's happened. I can't answer this. You know, your Myers, probably not. 73 for a break even. Look, what's he done? Look, had a stretcher who was actually looking okay. A couple of people bought him in as a pod, but look, 119, 71, 37, 72, 83, 93, 72. They're just not numbers that I'm interested in anyway. It just doesn't excite us. Geez, we're desperate, aren't we? You know, your Mason Wood types, Harley Reid, I went and talked about last week. You know, McInerney, is this the type of pick that we really need to look at? You know, under 450, slightly under 450. If we're looking at consistency, you know, 94, 107, 95, 75, 92, 83. It's consistent, isn't it? If that's the sort of play that you're after. North Brisbane, Dogs, Port, Collingwood, Essendon, and Adelaide. I'm not going your Boltons. Do you know what? Comben for his last 3. Take a look at his last 3 scores. Now, I don't know if he got a contested mark last week, but I know 2 out of his last 3 games, he's got 2 contested marks in 2 out of those 3. And I'm assuming they're intercept contested as well. 109, 117, 108. The beauty is, if you're going from someone like a Fish, that he's actually got that defensive forward DPP. He's more of that intercept type option. And I tell you what, he started playing really well as soon as I traded him out. So I traded him out after this 52 here. And then 98, 80, 87. Don't know what happened with that 32, to be honest. 78, and then the 3 scores that I mentioned there. So I can't believe I'm saying it. You could go worse than a Charlie Comben. Tracy's been in good form. Bolton, just no. He scored 4 goals last week and couldn't even ton up. Baker had like 200s in a row, but nothing. Clarkey Sparky on the footy mailbag talked about Tommy McDonald. Don't know that the Petty's in now. Not too sure. Tom Powell's taking a quick look at, but he's a 70s man, Tom Powell. That's the issue with him. Low break even 35. Remember, Wardlaw wasn't in last week. Stepped up a little bit more and finally got to the ton after not getting there since round 2, mind you. Worked out okay as a pick for me, though. But, look, just a 70s man. He's not going to do much. I don't think it's worth bringing him in. Although you are banking some coin and you'll get a game each week. Roll, not too sure about. Now, this is a bloke Sexton. Now, I've planned to move this guy on for weeks. Unfortunately, there's just been no great time. The break-even's now up to 96. But you know what? He's actually a warm body. I've still got Dawson down back. Am I more confident on him or Fisher? I'm really not too sure. Is he sub-material? Maybe. Does he get confirmed to play? Hopefully. I know one of George's gripes about him is the fact that he's been starting on the bench, and I don't know if it's just last quarters, but starting on the bench, finishing on the bench as well. And it's a really good point because if it's a crunch time game where there's lots of scaling up for grabs, bonus points towards the end of the game if it's a close one, him not being in the action absolutely kills him as a pick. So Weller's coming back in a couple, or he's due back at least. In saying that, though, if you look all the way back since round 9, when he's come back in, really, 82, 118, 86, 100, 87, 80, 86, and the 58. Is it panic stations? I'm taking 80, 85 plus every day of the week here, which is the pattern if it's not really 100, apart from this one game. Is he as much of a worry, sound like Porky Pig again, as what we all think he is? If he's still doing this and he's a warm body, he's still potentially covering down back. I can't trade both him and Fisher, I feel. I've got to keep one. And if I trade Fisher, I've probably got more cash in the bank to be able to do other things. Although I do have another sneaky play in mind here. This is the other bloke here, Ben Miller. Again, looking at his last 3. Now, doesn't mind a contested mark as well. Gave Kerno a bath, didn't he? But 13 to 17, 81, 97, 101, 83. He's a forward ruck option. I actually thought he was a forward defense option. So, do you go with him over a Dogger? Is he going to be more consistent? Look, I don't know a lot about him as a pick. At the price 430, I like him better than your power types, that's for sure. Probably better than a fair few other players at his price. So maybe you could go there if you want to go a little bit different. Yeah, and then we get to these type of names here. Toby Green. Hasn't McRae been disappointing? Do you know what? My man Jye Simpkin, after ranting and raving about him when he came in for his debut for a 60 for me, that's his only failure in the last month, to be honest. We know that Wardlaw hasn't been in for the last 2. Understand that. But 129, 114, 68, which is when I got him, I cursed him, and then 110 last week. At the price at 456, his job security is great. He's not going to have the worst role in the world, probably that half forward type role, maybe a wing. I don't think he's going to be that pressure type forward. So midfield time along with that, you can't be too picky around that price. Ollie Dempsey, is he worth a shout? 43 for break even. I can't believe I'm saying this when I didn't start him at 160, whatever he was. But if you look at, you know, well, round 11, 28, then we go 122, 50. But 99, 104, 96 for a last three is very consistent. You can't deny that for a last three. Collingwood, Dogs, North Adelaide, Freo, Saints, and West Coast. He's someone you've just got to consider, I think, if you're around the price. Because he's had one good game, you know, killed us, kicked 4 or 5, whatever he did, but nothing much apart from that. Cam Rayner, Jeffrey, no, not really. Jordan, Fife, glad we've got rid of Fife. Hardwick, Williams with new DPP, we can't. Garcia didn't play, can't believe he's been dropped, but anyway. Bailey, I don't know if I'm skipping past blokes. Okay, so Manor, now, massive tackle count last week. Yeah, negative break even of 72. He's certainly one of the blokes that you look to downgrade to if you need to. 180k is awkward, don't get me wrong. The first 2 scores aren't great. I think sub-affected, if I'm not wrong, at least one of them. But 118 last week, he looked super, didn't he? 14 tackles. It's a massive standout. 11 kicks, 9 handballs. So I found enough of the pill with 20 touches. A few marks, a couple of frees against, it's okay. A couple of behinds, if he converts those, that's 125 plus, 130. Job security, he's been named on field this week. Not that that means anything, I understand that. But it's just, I feel a lot of the time it's coaches rewarding good form and saying, yeah, you've earned this spot on field this week. Not all the time, but yeah, so he's certainly someone you could look to invest in. When I say invest, downgrade to Joe Richards. Surely he's not the sub tonight and he can help maybe some people out. Jack Graham, can't believe what he did to my man the Schlong the other week. Stringer, 58. Dusty's around this price now. Gresham, Dolstrup. Brucey, under 36 last week. Van Ruin, Clarkie's Spark, one of Clarkie's Sparks. I just don't know now with Petty in the side. Does Petty play forward and does this push him into the ruck more? Do you know what? If you're a Melbourne person, you'll know a lot more about that. But look, potentially we're stretching here, aren't we? Kruger's probably another obvious one. Downgrade this is if you're dealing with Gawn. You've got Livingston there, but you don't have Dogger. Could certainly take a look at him. Dowling, we've just all got and we're using him this week. Yeah, look. Cottrell, Fridge. So now if I'm skipping past too many people here. Nick Hind would be nice if he was actually playing in the selected squad. Yeah, look, I don't see a heap of names here. Again, could be completely missing someone. Look, with the bubble boys and all that, the real cheap options, just go for your DPP if you like. I've heard Will Dawson may be fit and available, so fingers crossed he may resurrect himself somehow. Look, unless I've missed someone, I don't know much about lots of the rookie options we've got available anyway. So I reckon there'll be a heap of comments. I haven't even been looking at the screen. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, I'm getting absolutely smashed here. All right, I'll do my best to go through all these guys. Sorry, I am that far behind. It's not funny. Apologies. I'm just going through this through my player screen. Sorry, guys. All right, so I've gone through a few forward options there. Let's now get out of the forwards. Rucks. I must admit, I was shocked. When I was looking at options for Gawn, I thought, look, either way, I'm going to make some coin here. Nank's outscoring him at the moment. So when we're going by average, let's just say 5 round. Let's go 5 round. Go race him. 640 for TDK, 647 for the Nank. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. But then I looked back at his last 5 and thought, wow. Yeah, that's why. Sometimes the last 3 can fool you a little bit and be a little bit deceptive. But the last 5, it's a 5-game sample. There's obviously going to be a few monsters in there, or at least the one big monster for the blokes that are at the top of the 5-round average, but super consistent, particularly the top 2 here. So TDK, I'm just not going to look at him this week. Is he out? He's either out or Pito's been named. So that's such a red flag for me. Janet's basically said to me, Pito in kills him as a pick. So yeah, TDK, there's been tests, a few question marks around him. So I'm pretty much just getting him off the list, TDK. And it's unfortunate because before all these question marks concerning him came up, he would have been probably my number 1 to get in. If you got the cash, this bloke is clearly my number 1. And I'll say clearly as well, and I can't believe I'm saying it about the Nank, but the numbers just don't lie for me. You know, you look back, I'll go back since round 9. Fair enough sample size there. 89, 105, 127, 117, 144, 131, 121, 159. The man is just monstering it at the moment. He's super consistent. And we're also seeing a few games where he's getting closer to that ceiling with that 144, 131. Then he really got there against Freo with that 159. So upcoming opponents, you're looking at Big Kizza, then I don't know who's going to be rucking for Port at that stage. You've got Collingwood, not a bad matchup there. So nice. From what I remember, he's got the best ruck matchup, if you look at the DVP for the year, out of the big boys in the ruck. Sherry, Rowan, Meek, and then Witt/Moyle, who knows there, to end the season. But as I said, you just can't deny that 5-rounder. You know, loves tackle, loves to hurt people, and he's a bloke that you'd probably enjoy watching, I think. Spill's a little bit worried, as you should be, about some durability here. Can get hurt from time to time, but he's clearly the bloke, if you've got the cash, if you're looking for a ruckman, that I would look to get in. Grundy, I'm not going to discuss too much because he's probably the highest owned player out of the list of other options that we've got to bring into the side. So same sort of goes with Brodie Grundy. I think that I'd almost call him your safest type option. And I'm still a happy Brodie Grundy owner. Would I rather have Grundy or the Nank? It's clearly the Nank. And some people may even go this next bloke, Sherry, over Grundy as well. And I could see why. And what's really helped this fella here is the tackle rule, I think, as well. So we look at his fantasy stats and take a look at his... Do you know what? Maybe it's... Yeah, he's doing really well anyway, but we look at the tackle count, and for a big boy, it's absolutely phenomenal. You know, seeing 10s, 11s in there, you know, multiple 10s and 11s, 6, 7, 6. You know, his tackle floor since round 11 has been 6, and everything's been that or more. So I think that's really, really helping Sherry at the moment. Ruck matchup, you've got your Sydney, Geelong, Carlton, Richmond, West Coast Dogs, and then Hawthorn as well. If you look at the price, 603, it's pretty much a direct swap, give or take 5K from Sherry to Gawn. And what this does allow you to do, some people to do, rather than using 2 trades to go up to a Nank, it could allow you just to do this in the one, close business, and we're all good. Again, I'm not necessarily advocating trading Gawn out. I'm just saying, if you are, these are some of the options that I think that we need to look at. Now, Big Kizza has been a little bit inconsistent for mine, and we've seen floor scores that I don't like. Now, the last month, I think, has been okay. Last week, wasn't it? Yeah, against Carlton, we saw that lovely 148. 95's nice. Actually, do you know what? I need to give you more credit here. Since round 11, 97, 124, 117, 47, 95, 148. So if we take that score out, we can't just take it out. But yeah, that's looking a lot better than what I thought. I thought there was another floor game in here. I suppose before that 62, couple of 80s. But at 486, could you go Gawn down to a Briggs, which would allow you to upgrade Sexton to a Caldwell maybe? With a bit of extra cash in the bank. Look, you could, but at the end of the day, you'll be sitting there with Briggs watching Gawn for the last, let's say 5 to 6 weeks. That's going to be tough. whoever you bring in, not having Gawn is going to be tough. You know, for those people that didn't start him, you'll understand the feeling. I haven't understood the feeling this year because I've had him from the start, but you would have understood the feeling of not owning him. It's not fun, is it? I'd imagine, or people have said anyway. So the only other option, look, you could go your Marshall, you could go your Jackson. Well, Jackson, I think, is a really solid forward option. Miller, we've touched on. There's no one else there that I'm going to look at apart from Lloyd Meek. I always think of Dumb and Dumber. My favourite movie of all time is Dumb and Dumber, Lloyd and Harry. So with Big Lloyd, we look at his scores as overall for the season. So 88, 130, 81, 97. A couple of 106s in a row, 125, 112. So a month where we've seen 106 plus, 73, 76, 145, 114. Now here, what I did notice was that we see this 73 in round 11, then we go to round 14. So I'm assuming this was injury affected. And then the 14 was 76. Then we go to 16. Now, is that by? Possibly. I don't know if that was injury affected or not, or he just got a bit of a bath. But 145, big hit back. I know it's against West Coast. And then 114, not the best comp. I want to say not the best comp. You had De Koning there, different type players, but not a seasoned ruck anyway. Or someone would assume with being a really hard matchup. We don't have the data or history. Coming up against Dogger this week in Tassie, the Pies, Rob, Kizza, TDK, Pito, whatever happens there, the big Nank, and then big Tristan. So, look, scores would suggest he'd be a solid enough option there. He lacks the ceiling, doesn't he, that some of these other rucks have. We've seen the 145, and apart from that, it's been 130 is okay, 125 and below. But you're locking in what seems to be a pretty safe player. A little bit vanilla possibly in the ruck. So they're probably the rucks that I would be looking at, guys, I think, anyway. All right. Where are we going now? Mids, defense. Let's quickly take a look at the mids. Now, Took Miller owners. It's team dependent here, but looking at these prices, you're not going up to your bonds, are you? You just don't have the cash, most likely, unless you've got a huge stash. And if that's the case, then go your bond, go your Dunkleys. Let's maybe switch this up and we'll go by highest price. We'll switch it up a little bit and all right, we'll go that. All right, so you've got the Bont, Lockie Neal, and these guys are pretty much no-brain options. But again, I'm assuming lots of people have the Bont. Lockie Neal, probably not. But yeah, look, 179 last week. You're paying almost 650K. West Coast to someone like an Elliot Yo go to him. Potentially, I don't think it's all going to be rosy for Brisbane and Neal this week, but you can't write off the great man, can you? Would you rather have Neal? Would you rather not have Neal on your side? I reckon close to 100% of us would say would rather have Neal. So, yeah, always a good trading option. Jack Sinclair as a defensive option in your midfield, I still think he's A-OK. 110 last week. Some people are actually complaining about. Don't complain about a 110. That is absolutely fine. 637 now. Do you want Neal? Do you want Sinclair? I think that both could go really well. May even lean you towards Sinclair because having a defensive option in your midfield, that's actually okay. I think that's a really good thing, particularly if you've got that rookie coverage with your DPP already down back. Such an easy switch and cover. And let's be honest, he's scoring as well. And what's his 5-round average? 127 is a premium mids. Keep in mind, Neal's only 129. We'll look at Dunk's 124, Flanders 121. So absolutely fine with Jack Sinclair. I'd actually recommend it if you've got the cash. This is Dunkley. I think, do we call him probably the safer top option of the lot? Looking at 4 140s in a row this week, if he can turn up, if you got the cash, he's not going to get tagged. Super reliable. I don't see really many, if any, red flags with the Dunkley selection. He's a pod as well, so I'm a big fan of getting Josh Dunkley in. I'm not going to spend a heap of time on picks like that, though, because I've talked about them at great length. So I just cannot get this thing right here. All right, Flanders I'm not going to talk about. LDU, not doing LDU things that he was 3-4 weeks ago, but still going to be a very solid selection. Great run home, all the rest. Goulden, I think, avoids a tag this week. Phillips has been dropped, but probably Shields will go to Warner. He's a man that's been tagging. Errol may actually be able to roam free and have a fair impact this week. Dacos we got, Butters we got. Zarek, get him in. If you haven't got him, it's as simple as that. He's under 600k, so cheaper than your Neils, cheaper than your Sinclairs. Go for it. Look, Taranto, he actually hasn't been getting a heap of the peel, but he's been scoring well enough. Not a real sexy type pick, but he's a pod that could give you 110s to 120s. So maybe there. Zorko's a no-brainer. Cripps is another bloke that I really like. 573, 42 for break even. So he'll be rising this week. Playing the Dogs, which are a hard matchup. But remember what the Port midfielders did to him. And I don't think that they're going to tag Cripper. So Dogs, North, Port, Collingwood, Hawthorn, West Coast, and St Kilda. So potentially some nice matchups there. Pair of 144s is just looking good for me. Looking good. Look, he can always come out and have a low stretch or a poor stretch when he gets banged up and all the rest. But Carlton are a bit of a different team at the moment, not really having to carry as much of the load. So I do like him as a pod selection. I can't bring myself to do it, but Spills is all over him. I can see why again. Adam Trelaw. It's just I'm so worried about Ping and he's gone. But check out these scores. I won't read them all out, but apart from that 58, the bloke hasn't failed. His lowest is a 91. All other sub-tons, 91, 99, 94, 94. It's so good. The floor is so good. Just that 58 where he hasn't been tagged. I think he was mentioning this in years. And you don't normally because he's not a damaging. We don't associate him with damage for possession. Accumulator, absolutely. And he has been using it a little bit better this season, which is nice to see. But look, if you want to take a risk, go for it. I've got visions of him just hurting himself. That sounds terrible because I don't want to wish that on him, but just one of those players. Will Day, see, he's just become a hundreds man, I think, in his last 3 at least, from memory. Yeah, 100, 104, 103. On his return, around 10. So 142, 117, 107, 137. And then those last 3. So won't fail you, but not giving you those ceiling type games. So at, 568, probably I'm looking for someone with more of a ceiling. You could go yourself the Noah Coaster. Talk about a man with a ceiling, but talk about a man with a floor. Well, it's like, what ticket are you getting this week? 70, 149, 55, 150, 105, 93, 140, 91. Look, this has been okay, hasn't it? From round 12, 91, 93, matched up with the 140, 150, 105. But you know what you're going to get with it, so don't complain with the bad ones and celebrate the good ones. Sam Walsh got tagged last week, been looking okay apart from that. But I think is it the week after this? I was worried about a tag. Yeah, North. So whoever they're using, they have been tagging. No Phillips out this week, but yeah, I'm worried they'll try to do potentially a job on him. Then you've got Port, Collingwood won't, Hawthorn, West Coast, I don't know. Windy will be right by then. Or does he go to the bigger body Cripps? We'll see what happens there. Yeah, maybe a Walsh. Holmes, I don't mind as a pod down back. We'll talk about backs. Tom Green's playing Richmond this week. You all know the story there. I'll talk about some of these DPPs quickly down back. Look, Andy Brayshaw, you may want to go as a pod. Hasn't had a huge season. Lots of 80s, 70s, but then 134, 128. If you want to go there, if you're an Andy fan, probably, again, not for me. Track, Steel, not looking great at the moment. Wardlaw's a bloke that you could look to bring in. Remember, coming off injury, though, he's injury-prone, George Wardlaw, but you can't deny his last 3, 47 for a break-even there. You're looking at a 114, 122, 122, so a pair of 122s. Sydney, hard matchup this week, although Isaac won't be there. Carlton, Geelong, Richmond, West Coast. This is a very nice run here that all the North Mids will have. You could. The Horn, 87. No, Nick Martin won't discuss. Look, Rosie's a really obvious one for a toque. a replacement. You're actually paying up now, which is super, super frustrating. Went up big last week. I don't need to discuss his game. It's been well documented. But yeah, last three, 111, 103, 168, comes back, and basically every podcaster are going to be a guest on this week at the same message. Jump on these blokes, the premiums, when they bottom out in price, because more often than not, they'll actually come good. Hugh and McCluggage, just the consistency isn't there. Callum Mills is back this week with a hope and a prayer. Couldn't tell what his role is going to be, what's going to happen there. Durham Pod. And then we're going under Took now. So you've got your Massimo there. He's been super consistent if you want to do that. Rao, I'm not going to recommend, but I'll tell you what, I almost guarantee this. In the next 3 weeks, he's going to have a massive ceiling game. And people that trade him are going to go, oh, why? The other 2 games probably go, well, yes, this was why. But it's inevitable to happen. Stats and probability would suggest that it's definitely going to happen. So, yeah, don't complain when that happens. Remember why you traded him out. It's like when I traded Clary out and he got 100 the week after, looked so much better. 50 last week, whatever it was. So that's why we do it. That's why I make these decisions. Warple's been okay-ish. Will Ashcroft have had a couple of questions about, look, the Prince could be capable of anything this year, but as a second-year player, keep this in mind, we forget this at times, as a second-year player coming back from a major knee issue, I couldn't do it as much as I love him. Berry's another one of my faves, but couldn't do that. Simpkin is the man that you could possibly go, as we talked about in your forward line there. Salem, 552, maybe as a defender or someone with that defensive DPP. McKirch will talk. Oh, look, we might as well talk about him now. Break even of 31. It seems like he's the new fish, 444. I chatted about him the last few weeks a fair bit. Just waiting for him to come back. Killed it in the VFL, came back, killed it here. How many kicks did he? I forget how many. It was a crazy amount of kicks that he had. I think it was 11 kick-ins, kicks, 27. The bloke kicked it 27 times. If I needed a defender or even a Miller replacement in my midfield, do you know what? It's hard to go past Colby. Got arguably the most lucrative role in Supercoach, that role in the North back line. You know what your risks are, but look at this for the last 4, 102, 135, 91, 134. Yeah, he's probably a bloke that I'd recommend if you're looking to go down, to be quite fair. Remember, Miller didn't have DPP status. He does, which is ultra handy, particularly given the fact that lots of us don't have that coverage down back. Clary. Come on, Clary. Come on, son. Next year, he's going to be at a good price if he gets his stuff together. Yep, we could. Rayner, nah. Fake questions about Rayner. No. Bailey, nah, you can't. Bonner, crikey. All right, so this is the level that we're getting to now. Oh, I did miss someone in the forward line, come to think of it. Sharps, Fletchers, these guys just... No, Frey, I don't know what's going to be happening with him. So I'm just, probably no one else there for now. Unless, because I can't see the comments, guys. I'm just looking at my Supercoach screen at the moment. One thing I will quickly do is just go back. Mateus. What on earth? I think Abs is going in. So you're in good company if you want to go there. It's such an Abs pick as well. So I love that, man. It's such an Abs pick because we've seen the one good game with this 112, but with Abs, it's all about role. It's about price. And the way he's seeing it, he's going, do you know what? Rossi was really impressed with him there. I think that he mentioned, I read a tweet or might have watched this myself. I can't even remember. It's all a haze. That Line was saying they could have a generational midfielder there if he continues to play like he did in there last week. Big praise. If he knows that he's potentially got that on his hands, why wouldn't he continue to play him through the midfield? No DPP status is tough. And I tell you what's tough. 18, 23, 40, 18, 43, 63, 71. We are celebrating that. 45, 58. But he's 218K. We're not expecting the world from him. But if you're looking for a downgrade option, you look at what he did last week. For potential, remember, this is off 1 week. For potential could be a massive in. So score there, 112, 21 kicks, the 5 handballs, 5 marks. That's a nice tackle count with 5. And I think that could be sustainable. Yeah, a couple of 6s there. So the tackle count is sustainable. So he's been impacting the scoreboard 3 out of the last 4 weeks. 1 goal, a point, 1-1-1-1. That's, yeah, he can maintain that, you'd hope, because he did 1-1 from the midfield. Do you know what? He's definitely a bloke you can consider. The only issue I have with him over someone like a Manor is the lack of DPP. Yeah, that's the only thing. He's only going to be covering for your forward line. So if he had DPP, I would be a massive fan of that inclusion because, look, it's a risk. It's only 1 game. But, hey, what are we going to do at this stage? We're desperate. And we'll finish off, my friends, with the defenders. I'm going by highest price. Yeah, look, we quickly talked about Sinclair. So with Jack Sinclair, and I know I've been a bit general on some of these guys. I just quickly want to get through as much as I can because game's coming up. But really, look at these scores here. We'll go since round 7. You can see on the screen. 113, 134, 83, 110, 99, 102, 147, 135, 143, 110. I think that's why a few people were disappointed with the 110 because he got used to 140s and 130s for the last 3 before that. But look, how can you deny this bloke as a pick? Probably price is the only thing that might be putting you off, but you pretty much know what you're going to get. And who was it? Yeah, Sydney. He got a 110. I was expecting James Jordan to really lock down hard on this bloke. And so Marvel run. Look at that Marvel run. Oh, man. I can't get him because I need forwards. Oh, so close to getting him not long ago. Yeah, look, massive advocate for him. If you can. Assists obviously out. Geez, he right up at 578. That's crept up on me. Dacos is obvious. Like, I'm not discussing King Nick. I don't need to. Lockie Whitfield. Luke Ryan. So I'm not recommending Luke Ryan at the moment. But in saying that, would I recommend Lockie Whitfield at like 10K more? He's only 10K more than Lockie Whitfield. What's going on with this season? Just flipping on its head, isn't it? Shit. Well, from round... Look, I know round 8 was tough with the 54. That would have been James Jordan, obviously. But then he played Sydney again for 105. But so 54, Hunge, 112, 69, and then 108, 134, 105, 117, 107. You can't deny that consistency. You'll probably step on a pebble on his way to training now and be out. But Richmond, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Freo, and the Dogs. Look, probably, yeah. Probably, yes. It's hard to go past, isn't it, looking at that consistency? You know the risks. If you haven't been playing Supercoach for a long time or just getting into footy, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But this bloke has the weirdest injuries. I'm telling you, like a bruised third toe, or it's weird stuff that happens to him. Just put it that way. Trust me on that. But you can't deny his talent. Bailey Dale, bit meh lately. Hasn't been doing too much. Nick Newman's a pot, isn't he? 547. It's almost at McGovern price. Just looking at what we've got on the screen there, apart from that 57, there's not much that you don't like. 116.82 for a floor, 148 for a ceiling, 90, 147 for another ceiling, 104, 102, consistent, 57, down we go, 104 again, consistent. So within a month there, 104, 102, 57 bad, but then 104. So a 2-point range in 3 out of 4 games there. Then we see a ceiling again, 156. And then we've got the 84. So there is upside to this pick. And I don't see a heap of downside. We look at another 56 in round 3, excuse me, but being few and far between. The floor that we're looking at here seems to be, I'm going to give it an 80 because since round 4, it's been, apart from that low one, the 76 there. So let's say he's got a floor of around the mid 80 mark. That's what I'm going to say. A bit of an anomaly here. Don't even know what happened there, but I'm not going to, can't discount. I'm not going to count it too much. Could be the pod that you're after. Do you know what? Don't mind Nick Newman. You won't be able to see this. Kick-ins. What's his kick-ins been like? Carlton. So, did I read Mitch McGovern's out, or am I just imagining that? I'm not too sure. So, Newman, do you know what? It's nothing to write home about at all. So, he's only had 29 for the season. Boyd 32, Mitch McGovern 47. He has played on 100% of the time, 29 from 29. If we look just for a last since round 12, 1 kick-in, 3 kick-ins, 2 kick-ins, 0, and 3. Okay, so it's certainly not from kick-ins. He doesn't need to rely on that, and I'm actually liking that. I think that's a good thing for us. I don't like players that necessarily rely on that. So, I'm going to give the thumbs up if anyone's looking for a pod in Nick and Newman. Max Holmes, hard not to give the thumbs up, isn't it? 123 break even, 546 with DPP. Yeah, floor. We saw his floor last week. Is that his lowest score of the year? That's got past me. So his lowest score of the year was last week with an 82. That is so super impressive. Yeah, what a safe pick he is. Yeah, if you want to go safe, then go him. Absolutely. Clark, I've lost a little bit of faith in. Pretty safe, though, as well. I'm spending way too long. Sorry, guys. I need to move on, finish up, so I can get this properly uploaded for those people that might have missed the lunchtime. So he's doing like a Will Day. He sort of turned in, like, done what Will's Day's done. We've seen a couple of big ceiling types, nice, and then just down to your hundreds here. So he's a 100 type defender at the moment, Jordan Clark. Clark or Holmes, geez, how's that? There's $500 separating them. So whoever you enjoy more. Houston, geez, if he's laid out, oh, that could hurt. If he is, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say, when I say sit back with the popcorn, I'm not going to get enjoyment out of other people's despair, but I don't have him, so I'm not really in the Houston discussion. Wowee. People are going to lose their minds, people. Lose their minds. Ed Richards now. Yeah, but at 542, I am going your Holmes. Probably over your Richards. He's had a couple of nice ceiling games, hasn't he? 163, yeah. So 163, this is since the midfield move. I'll go back one. 82, 163, 118, 77, 115, 116, 86. So floor of 77. So mid-70s to 80s is a floor. Carlton, Geelong, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, North, Giants. I probably like other blokes over him, but he's got to be in any conversation. CBAs, I believe, though, have gone down. Have they? Doggies. All right, where are we? So Ed Richards. So, yeah, so 90, 93, 88, 31, nothing, 49, 38, 62. So the 62 actually is his biggest his highest since round 14. Maybe that's a bit of a lie, but the 38 in round 16, that's concerning. Who's copping a bit here? So Sanders has come in for 29, 27%. Last week, I know that's Sam Darcy, so that doesn't really count. Bont was down. Yeah, so Bont was all the way down to 46 last week. And then Richards went up to 62 from 38. So maybe Yeah, maybe Richards does go down again to allow Bont to go back up if he's feeling a little bit better. He's still got Sanders there as well. So, yeah, I don't actually like Richards as much as what I did a little while ago. Elliot Yeo's just a little bit off at the moment. 67% Tog last week. It's just not high enough. Not Abijan there. Yo with the 92. Yeah, sorry, just said him. Blakey with a 69. Probably wouldn't recommend the Lizard. Don't really like that ability to go 69. What's Crispy done? Has he had a bad game? He has 68. But apart from that, 106, 134, 112, 94, 117, 104, 121, 68, 106. Again, a super consistent type that has that DPP status. You know that he's like lock in that he's not going to miss a game. Has he got the record yet from Jimmy Steins? Or if not, he must be close if he's not there, if he hasn't overtaken it. He's one that it's hard to deny. I'll say that much. Very, very hard to deny is Jack Crisp. Nazaya, so talented. You've got a lot of options here. You've got so many options that are poddish type options. When I say poddish, you got the real pods 2.5 to your 14.2. Remember, this is overall not what the 1%'s looking like. Hayden Young with a 125. You know, the Schlong was down, he went up. Ridley bounced back after some actually traded him out again with a 129, which would have been super frustrating for those people. You know, playing more accountable for his 84-63, West Coast and Geelong, but 162, 111, 112 for the first three, 2 duds, 129. He's such a frustrating pick. He's probably just on my never again list. I didn't get him this year, but just he manages to screw with you, and then when you get rid of him, screw with you even more through scoring well at times. So it's just, yeah, hate that. Fish we've talked about. Martin we don't invest in. I wouldn't be trading him out just with a warm body at the moment, but if you've got the luxury, go for it. This is a bloke. I think. So if we look at, I just want to go back to CBAs for a sec. What have I done here? CBAs and go to Melbourne. So what's Rivers looking like? Trenton Rivers. Yeah, so like we're talking zeros all year, apart from 33% in round 5. And then from round 15 to 17, we've seen 80, 69%, 83%, which is just, that is the highest out of any mids round 15. He's equal second, he's second after Clary and Viney equals 73 round 16, but 69 compared to their 73s. It's not huge, it's only 4. But then, yeah, again, the highest last week with 83, next highest from a mid being Clary with your 79, 66 Viney, 48 Sparrow, 24 for Cozzy. Cozzy's the other bloke that's joined Rivers here, 36, 15, 24 in the last 2, along with Van Rooyen's come in, excuse me, a little bit more, 16, 12, 24. Probably will increase with Gawn out. So maybe does that lean you towards a massive pod there for a few weeks with low break even? Seen his high score last week. Potentially. See, Neil Bullen, we've seen the last 3, 8%, 12%, 0. So not looking to do that tagging role, it seems. Looking at last 3's data. So Rivers does interest me. What's happened with the 58? We played Brizzy, didn't we? We just end up giving Melbourne a bath at the end of the day, didn't we? 111, 131, 58, 143. Is there a reason for this bloke's role to change? I don't think so. Was this always the progression that Melbourne were looking for, that Rivers was looking for into the midfield, but just with your Viney, your Track, your Clary, just that solid 3? It hasn't been the right time for it to happen. I think they keep going with it. The 58 against Brisbane, though. If you're after a pod, Rivers at under 500K could be the man for me. All of a sudden, you got Tom Stewart, the midfielder. What's happened here, people? What has happened to Tommy? So 107, 97, 115 in his last three. Do you know what? He's a Supercoach champion. He's in the Supercoach Hall of Fame already for a defender. Whatever happens from here on out for the rest of his career. So you could. Good pedigree. Pow. Pedigree Pow. Oh, no, is Pow? Yeah. Pow. Chum. Pow. Duggan Himmelberg, Mitch Duncan. Massimo consistent, as we said. My boy, Pepsi, 74. Common we've talked about. Amon no. Tom McDonald, listening to the Footy Mailbag podcast. More info on him. Clarkey, as you say. Good Melbourne bloke is Clarkey as well. Another Melbourne teammate, May 91 last week. Look, Kirch is clearly the other bloke, like Kirch. Kirch or Rivers, probably Kirch for price, isn't it? But a little bit more confidence with maybe Rivers in his body. Yeah, look, the other bloke we'll discuss is SDK. So this is a bloke if you're having a stab. 417k is going to be one of the cheaper options, or probably the cheapest option that you're going to look at. Coming up against Collingwood, the Dogs, and North. 3 games of data as a ruck. We've got 135, 64, and then 125. So that 64, was he actually... How much ruck time did he get? All right, so CBAs for SDK. Yeah, well, it wasn't as high as 15 and 17, but it was still 72%. So it looks like Blitzov's... Yeah, 28. Yeah, so that 72% was in round 16 with that low score. So that was a full game in the ruck, or pretty much full game in the ruck. The number one ruck, 80%, 86%. So yeah, hasn't had a CBA. Look, he's chopped out a couple of games here. I can see him rounds 3 and 5 with 16, 18%. Yeah, 4% to 3%, which we don't take any notice of. But it's at last 3. So it looks like he's transitioned into that number one ruck role, excuse me, for now. But we know about the Geelong ruck merry-go-round, and they've been like that for years and years and years. We know that Blitzovs is more than capable of doing the role as well. Conway, I think, is in a maroon boot. Don't know what's happening with Stanley. I think he's just not getting selected at the moment. So, here's that risk versus reward. The risk is that he just goes back to that defensive role and he's not going to be relevant pretty much, because these scores here, apart from that 90, are not relevant type scores. Not what we're looking for. As a 23rd, the upside is massive. To have him on field is a big risk though. But for some people, you're going to possibly have to go there. If you're looking for someone in the 400 to 420 range down back, I don't think you can go better than SDK. Remember, I featured him on Stocky last 2 weeks, and see he's gone up just 50 odd K last week. So you were getting a massive bargain if you took the faith last week. It was tough though. After 2 weeks of data, 135 and the 64. 135 against his brother. He actually got beaten, but still managed to pump out that. That's great. Upcoming opponents: Collingwood, Dogs, North, Adelaide, Freo, Saints, West Coast. It's okay. So he's the man that you probably go to there. Look, if you've, I don't know, let's just say you don't have a Rankine and you've got a Fisher down, like a Fisher and a McGovern maybe, and you just don't have enough to go Fisher up to someone like a Caldwell or up to a Flanders Zorko type. If you need to go all the way up Flanders to Zorko from a Fisher, let's just say, then Sam de Koning for a McGovern, if you're a McGovern owner, for example, could be a play in order to get up there. I don't know. But if you're around the range, you know, I think he's probably where you look to go. Bakers, we said no. Kitty next year, jump on Kitty. You'll be ready to go, hopefully. I may be giving blokes disrespect here by just flicking through them. You know, Williams is deaf forward, probably not. No. Yeah, probably a heap of disrespect here. And I don't know if I'm missing someone just because I haven't been looking in this price range myself. But there's not a heap of great options putting their hand up. Is there? Luckily, hopefully he can give you cover, which would be nice. But I've gone through all the big boys that you go to. Obviously, Humphries is a player you could obviously look at. He's been selected this week, 117K with defensive mid status. So he's a really obvious one, but he's been covered a lot as well. You don't have to think too much about it. Just get him in, I think. And actually, who is it again? What's his name? He's the 102K bloke from Richmond who's been selected. You'll be right in the comments, I know, but I completely forget. He's right down the Blight. There he is, Blighty. Oh, my Blighty. A few Blights in our Supercoach team this week. Negative 77, which we really don't worry about too much. But the fact that he's been selected 15 and 86, he's 102K. He doesn't have the DPP though, but I may be looking to make a crazy move this week myself. And look, it all depends how desperate you are. And I don't know that I'm going to do this, right? I don't know that I'm going to do it, but it could be a random strategy for some of you that just don't quite have enough money. Like I'm talking, you are 10 to 15K short of making the move that you want to. You're going to have to use a trade. I don't know if this is a good move or not, but this is what I'm thinking. I am literally so close to being able to just go in the one trade, say a Fisher to Caldwell, but I can't in one trade. I just can't. There's other blokes that are just, I want to keep his cover, like your Dowling and all the rest. And then I've got some of these other dead blokes that just aren't going to come back. However, I've got a dead bloke in my defensive line by the name of Zach Reid. And you can't use Humphrey in this example because they're the same price. So only if you need that little bit extra in your wallet, a few gold coins, silver coins in your wallet type stuff. I'm thinking of potentially, I haven't heard anyone else go on this route, so a bit wacky, I know, possibly. Maybe a waste, don't know. But very team dependent, going Fisher to Caldwell and Zach Reid to Blight. Now, what this allows me to do is, because I don't know what's going to happen with Sexton, it's going to have to involve keeping Sexton. Remember, Sexton is my 23rd, though, so it doesn't worry me too much. I've got Will Dawson down back, and then, obviously, our man Reid. So Fisher was really the one, and Sexton, I suppose, that's going to cover my defensive line. And without those two blokes, I've got no cover. I can't do it, right? So going down to 2 trades, if I waste 2 this week, or waste 2, if I use 2, hopefully they're not a waste, then I'll be down to 2. By getting Blight in, I feel that because Fish would be the one to get traded out, which was going to be my reliable cover down back, I'm feeling that by at least getting Blight in for a dead rookie, he's getting a game, and I may avoid a donut, worst case scenario, if something happens to Sexton maybe, and I can't use him to go back there. So that's part of my thinking as well. And that's why I said right at the start, this is very team dependent, and I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. Would I rather Blight or Humphries with the DPP? Humphries every day of the week. But different prices, different situations, potentially what I'm looking to do myself. So I'll tell you what, guys, I reckon that is probably me done. Now, how many questions are going to be? What's the time? I do actually need to head off pretty quickly, but how many questions am I actually dealing with here? Oh, crikey. All right. All right. I'm going to... Jeepers. There's not a chance in this world that I'm going to be able to go through all these questions. I will try my best to absolutely smash you on, guys. All right. I'm going to go back up to where I think the top is. Like, there are literally, I can't even guess how many questions there are at the moment. How long have I been going for? An hour 21. Oh man, I can't even get back up the top. Okay, I'm close to the top. All right. Oh, Jono's sitting here backstage. Jono,
hello. I don't know where I am, but I can see that I'm in the show.
I don't even know where you are, mate. Can you see yourself?
I can, yes, but not on your end.
Not on my end. I got no idea. Sorry, mate. No idea. I'll try to work this out on the run, Jono.
You're right.
Sorry, mate. I haven't been obviously looking at my StreamYard. I've been looking at my Supercoach page, so I haven't seen anything. That's why I haven't seen any of the comments. All right, mate. Let's. Sorry if I'm going to say this now to everyone. Very rude. So you know how much love I have for all of you. Sorry if I sound rude getting through these really quickly, but there's no way I'll be able to get to all of them if I sit down and have a one-on-one chat with everyone. So I will apologize in advance. And the real team dependent ones where it's like option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 players, it's like it's be too much for me to register and give you a really good answer just in one go. But very quickly I'll try to help you out where I can, guys. But hopefully during the Stocky as well, I may have, talked about the players that you're looking to bring in. And keep in mind as well, before I answer any of these questions, it is so team dependent. If you go and play A versus B, and what do I do? Do I trade this player out? So how many trades, which seems like, and I don't know myself what I'm doing myself. So I want to just start off with that. There hasn't been a week like this before. Such a crucial week, such a week where there's so much carnage, and I just don't know what to do. Usually I've got a pretty good idea, or at least by now I've got a good idea. But this week it's just I feel like I'm absolutely toasted at the moment. Sorry, what's starred? Oh, so sorry. Before I get into this, my man Gibbo, how are you, mate? Thank you very much. I can see here, buddy, that you have gifted 3 memberships, mate. So again, I don't know how these work, if they're random or if you say to a particular person, here it is. Mate, thank you so much. It's something that you did not have to do. And I know you're already a member, obviously, yourself. Thank you very much, mate. Obviously, a big part of our community. You know how I feel about you, mate. But thank you again, my friend. It does mean the world to me. And very, very close to getting another laptop as well. Very close to getting another laptop. So just, little things like this and donations do go a long way, but I never, ever expect it, mate. But best thing about the membership gifts is the fact that Beyond Blue, another charity, really benefits from that as well. So Gibbo, much love, my friend. Thank you very much, brother. Does really mean a lot to not only myself, but lots of other, I'm going to say men now because it's Beyond Blue and ladies that have, going through some mental health struggles, mate. So thanks, champion. I appreciate you, man. All right. Now I've lost all this again, Jono, man. All right. I think I was at... All right, Jono, here. I'm backstage. Yeah. Have you been backstage since then, Jono? That is...
I've been backstage all of the stream.
You've been watching the whole time, mate. You creepy little bugger in the background there.
You see that sign on your end?
Oh, you DR. Oh, mate. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Just lurking there and I didn't realise. Sorry, mate. All right, let's get into this, boys. Right. Tennis Ace. Hey, buddy. How are you, man? Hey, mate. Ranked just outside top 1,000 overall. 2 trades left. Gawn to Marshall. Is that a good idea? I didn't look at Jono's come on for this question, obviously. Look, mate, I would rather other options. But Jono's been rowing the boat, as he says, since round 1 or round 0 this year. Jono, what can you say about Rowan without bringing all your bias into it for one of your all-time favourites? Give us your honest opinion.
Honest opinion is that, it's a good pick, but be prepared for that lower score that he might pump out for us. But I can see on the run home, he should score reasonably well, at least 105 minimum. But
possibly a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
With a low score here and there, mate. Yeah, look, it's all gut feel from here. Look, remember in saying this, Tennis Ace, we were thinking that Rowan Marshall's a lock for a top 3. You know, it's going to be Gawn, English, and Marshall. We're saying that for ages, but the Grundys, the Sherrys of the world, Meek to a lesser extent, certainly Nank and blokes like TDK have said, don't discount us. So, look, if you like him, mate, go for it. But I'd have others in front of him. Anyway, buddy. Next one here. GB. Hey, buddy. 3/4 time under 16 state champs. SA61. My boys, Vic Country 40. Thanks for the update, brother. Appreciate you. Red Star. Hey, buddy. Thinking Fisher to Caldwell could Jackson be a very sneaky VC as he shares a solo ruck? Do you know what? Very quickly, I literally looked at my Twitter for 2 secs before when I put this notification up or this tweet up that I was going live, and I was tagged in something by the great Pig. I think he might be going Jack L as a sneaky VC. So jump on X, mate, /Twitter. Pig mentality. My man Jimmy. Love the man. Actually catching up with him this weekend. The great man himself this weekend, the Pig. So really looking forward to that. Check out his captaincy articles as well as Third Man Up. But I know that Pig did a fair write-up on him, apparently, and something I'll be reading as soon as I've done this, buddy. So, yeah, could be, mate. Cheers, buddy. All right, Joshua. Toby McMullen, Jack Hutchinson, Lockie Sullivan. Maybe that's who your cover is, man, I'm imagining, or I'm thinking there. Trade out Rankine, Fluke, Jackson, or Dylan Moore. Oh, look, mate, I would rather Moore as a selection, but it depends if you want an insurance policy. So if you want an insurance policy in your side, then you probably need to be prepared to take a little bit of a haircut with your scoring on field. If you're prepared to do that, I think it's Jackson. If you're not prepared to do that and you want the most points possible, then it's probably More for me, mate. Keeping in mind that I'm assuming Jacko's only going to be the number 1 ruck for this week and then Shrek's back. If he continues in the number 1 ruck role, it's Jackson by a country mile for me, to be honest, mate. All right. G'day, Az. How are you, mate? Member of the channel. Hope you're well, brother. Bought Rankine in last week. He's going out for More. Fish out for Jackson, who'll provide ruck cover. Already got Caldwell. There's nobody else. Could not have said it better, mate. So got Caldwell. They're your 2 outs. They're the 2 blokes that you bring in. It's as simple as that. There's as you would have seen, mate, and heard. No one else I'm really interested in, buddy. All the best, mate. Got injured in the 83 game halfway through that quarter. Was that maybe? Who would that be? That would be Ed Richards, wouldn't it?
Yes.
I reckon that would be Ed Richards. And that's a really good point, something I completely forgot about. Yeah, that may lean you more towards Richards' pick then. You're absolutely right. Thanks, Hoops. I completely forgot about that, buddy. All right. Josh, thoughts on the Nank? Yep, so done that for you, buddy, which is good. Kirch takes the kick outs. Absolutely he does, mate. Next one of my absolute faves, Ange. Hey, Ange, how you going, mate? Thanks for being easier. I've traded Maxi to Sherry, leaving one. Traded Fisher to grab Sinclair last week. Ange. So well done, mate. I was planning on Rankine this week. It's such a game of luck. Look, you think back with just the Rankine pick, Ange, is that when Janeth bought him in the first time, when he pinged it against Collingwood, I think it was, with however many seconds to go, he was looking so good. The poor buggers had to trade him out. I know other people would have been in that boat. Probably trade him back in again. Luckily, my brother Janeth didn't. If he had just, man. But for people that have been in that position, it's just like no one could have predicted he was going to get rubbed out for 4 weeks. And just you're right, Ange. You can be such a good coach, but luck comes into it. Bit like poker, mate. Go in with your pocket aces and the 7-2 rolls you. Appreciate you, Ange, and looking forward to officially speaking with you very, very soon, mate. All the best. He's going to quiet down. I'm assuming this is probably Fish, I think, mate. All right. Oh, here's my man I'm going to be chatting to soon as well. Jules, Crazy Frogs. Hey, brother. Hey, dear. Please talk me out of Mason Wood to replace Fish. No cash in the bank. You, like, Wood is your type of pick, Jules. Like, if there's anyone that's going to go with Wood, it's you, brother. I would not go against your gut. But, yeah, I probably think at the price, mate, there are probably a few other guys there that I've chatted about I'd have in front. But Who knows, mate? We've seen Woody go on a bit of a. I won't say that, Woody. I was going to make a joke there. I better keep it clean. Go on a bit of a decent run there, mate. Anyway, so I'm an idiot. I'm doing stuff in my own head. 12 oops at Ange. I think we've all stuffed up this year. Not really bad luck, but remember when I started playing 2016, we'd be more conservative with trades going out the window. Yeah, you wouldn't have seen hoops, but I actually put a members video out that I think Ange probably would have seen, where I go through my old ranks and some of my trade history from previous years. And I'm not saying this blow up my head, but top 100, 200 finishes in trades in years where we had 30 trades for the whole year, I had 7 and 8 still in the bank this stage of the year. Believe that or not. But yeah, unbelievable. Sorry, Jono, I completely keep forgetting that you're there, mate, because I can't see you, mate. Sorry, buddy. All right, I'm going to go see if we can. Yep, done Philippou. I can see there, Joshy. Trent Rivers done. Absolutely. This one here. Ace. Actodon? I'm butchering it probably, mate. Sorry, buddy. Neil or Dunkley? Yeah, look, Spills and I have gone Neil. Janeth's gone Dunkley, so probably go with Janeth, mate. Don't listen to Spills or I. Look, what I like with Dunks, mate, is the fact that he seems to be still going under the radar. If he scores another 140 this week, it'll be a month of 140s in a row, 4 consecutive 140s in a row. The man's a machine. He's not going to get tagged. I think he might have been tagged for a quarter recently. That was a little about it. If the tag's coming, it's going to either McCluggage or Neil. So that may just put Dunkley over the line for me, mate. I hate to say I'm a Neil owner. I'm hoping it's Neil, believe me. But I'm just going to say Dunkley. Jono, any opinions you've got there, mate, on either Neil or Dunkley?
I'm like Janeth. I'm a Dunkley owner, so I'm a Dunkley through and through. And I've owned him for those 3 140s plus a score before that. And I've enjoyed every bit of owning him.
Beautiful, mate. Joshy says, whoa, where are we here? Comparing Dylan Moore and Kerno's ceilings. Gibbo, another member. Shout out to you again, brother. What happened to Jack McRae this season? Yeah, look, I was probably putting too much blame on Bevo myself at the start of the year, I think, mate. I think that it looks like Father Time. I'm not writing him off as a player, his career. It seems like Father Time has caught up with him a little bit, I think, buddy. Remember, he's Supercoach royalty. I'm not knocking him whatsoever. But I think age has contributed to his regression. Roll's huge. We know that. Roll's huge. But he's able to do what he used to be able to do? Probably not for me, mate. Jono, you got any theory on why McRae's a 60, 70 type man now, mate, from the glory days?
It's probably just a mix of different role that he's probably not been used to in the past, and there's a lot more players going through the midfield than there usually would have in years gone past.
You don't have to rely on him as well as much.
No.
Look, they've always, when I say rely, Dogs have always had a really thick midfield. But, with other blokes coming through as well, mate, even your next gen, like your Sanders, who's back on the side now, which is good to see. I just don't think they need him as much anyway, mate. Ollie Dempsey's been good as, mate. Went through him obviously before. Absolute gun is he, mate. He's come across Gibbo's first one. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate your gifting, as I mentioned before. You are a legend, mate. Oh, man, Jono, you're here now, mate, but you can officially say hi out loud to Ange now. Ange, absolute legend there, but thank you for that in the comments, mate.
No, Ange.
Alex, Nank and Philippou are next week. And next week, Mana in for my last trade, and next week, Mana in. Oh, he's got a negative break even in the 70s, as you would have seen, mate. I like Mana this week, I must say. Or Sherry and Philippou, and next week, Kerno. So hang on. So it's Nank, Philippou this week, and then Mana next, or this week. Sherry Philippou, and next week Kerno. So as a 3, you got Nank, Philippou, Mana, or Sherry Philippou, Kerno. I actually like the second one, mate, to be quite honest, because I feel like you're Mana, like, remember, he's only played his 3rd game. I don't know if that tackle count's going to be sustainable. Hope it is for owners, but yeah, I'm not going to be banking on 100 pluses from Mana each week, mate. You're getting Nank and 2 speculative picks there around the 200 mark in Philippou, Mana, or Sherry, who I'd probably have Nank in front, but Sherry, very, very reliable ruckman in his own right. Philippou, same, and then Kerno. So I'd be doing number 2 myself, mate. Jono, would you be going different to me, mate, or?
I'd be going number 2 as well.
Number 2 as well. All right, mate. Yeah. So both agree on that one.
Yeah.
All right. 12 hoops. SDK went through him, brother. So an interesting pick, mate. Interesting pick. Mikey, with Stewart, is rebounded well, being moved into the midfield. Absolutely, mate. But Geelong do like to rest older players. Yeah. Worth the risk if one trade. I think it is in one trade, mate. Yeah. Absolutely in one trade, I think it is. All right. Oh, here's another one from Gibbo. So I'm skipping through some messages that aren't relevant now. Sorry, guys, as well. Appreciate that, Ange, as well. Legend helping out Joshy there. Jack, interesting one. Bloke I didn't cover. Blitzarves, good last 2 weeks to cover Gawn. Oh, look, where's he going to play, though, mate? That's my issue. Where is the man actually going to play? I think SDK's a ruckman. Look, at the low price, you could be worth a stab, but I can't tell you what's going to happen with him. Sorry, mate. With a bit of luck, it might be right, but we'll see how we go, mate. Sorry, I can't give you much on the old Blitz, mate. Ange, legend, he absolutely is, isn't he, Ange? Thanks, mate. Great community here. Oh, another one of my favourite members here. Johnny, how are you, John? Thinking of going down to only one trade. It hurts, doesn't it, mate? And it's a scary thought, Johnny. Go and fish to Caldwell. Have cover Max Forhenny. Yeah, do you know what, mate? Oh, as I said, I'm the wrong person to ask about fish, but I'm getting bad vibes. I'm getting bad, stinky fish vibes, man. Do you reckon that's worth it, Jono? Would you be keeping ultra conservative? Fish to Caldwell, obviously a good trade in your opinion. Worth it this week?
I think so. Like you could, we never know when Fish is going to be back. And if you're in a rookie this week, you're probably going to lose at least 60 to 70 points.
Yeah, that's the big question, mate. We just don't know when Fish is going to be back. Sorry, just remembered about this as well. Met a bloke, ran into a bloke at Coles not long ago. Sorry, I completely forgot about this. By the name of Chris. Shout out to you, mate. Mentioned that his son, little Chris, is in hospital as well. So, little Chris, just wanted to give you a big shout out, mate. I also mentioned, Jono, that he loves the Mortal Kombat jumper that I've got. So, there we are there, mate. There we are. And little Chris, I don't know if I'm spoiling something here, but I did chat with the old man. I do have your address, mate. And in the mail very soon will be your own one there, mate. Size medium. Got you there. Just as a little thank you for watching the channel, mate. And it get better soon. Because, yeah, I've got a son the same age as you, Chris, in grade 6 there, mate. And he's had a bit of a tough time with some sickness lately. So hopefully you enjoy the jumper. And Mortal Kombat, just remember it's a game, Chrissy boy. Remember it's a game. I'm sure you do, mate. But, yeah, a bit of old school Mortal Kombat. Don't know if you've played Mortal Kombat, Jono. I'm surprised that Chris knew about it because it is very much 80s, 90s, mate. But it was the bomb back in the day, fatalities and ripping heads off and all this fun stuff that Chris loves doing, which is awesome. So good on you, Chris. Get better soon, legend. And I hope you enjoy your jumper as well, mate. Have to send us through a pic and we'll add you to the Wall of Fame if you're comfortable, buddy. All the best, man. Here's one of my faves, Stewie Mac. Hey, Stu, how are you, Dad? Bud. I called you a dad, Bud. I was going to say you are far from a dad, my man, Stu. Hey, legend, live Stocky, love it. We'll have to go back and watch the start later. Yeah, that's sort of why I've done the live, mate. rather than, because the upload time for these stockies is beyond ridiculous at the moment with the old laptop, and I literally hadn't got the slides done. I started doing, I was chatting with John O and H earlier today actually, and said, look boys, I've got to go. No stocky exists at the moment, so I need to get into it. Started with all the slides and thought, I won't have time, let's just go live. And as you're going to do, Stu, people can watch back later. So cheers to that, buddy. Hope that you are well, mate. Much love, much peace, brother. Is the ladies' man. Oh, Jono, I can hear something, mate, when you're in a microphone or something, buddy. Jono, tell us about this man here. Talk to us about the ladies' man. He's a lovely human, isn't he, the ladies' man?
Yes, he is. He loves his ballsy picks, but I think, as you said when we talked about Hogan, he could be anything in between a 30 to a 143 like last week.
Yeah, look, I'm sure that Jesse gets ladies like Causa, but as a Supercoach selection, it's Causa, the life for key forward. You know what it's like, mate. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, mate. What about Sam Switkowski, mate? I haven't even thought of him. Does he really, Ange?
Draft only. I'm a happy owner in drafts, but that's about it.
Yeah, look, without knowing anything about how he's done the last three, that's a nice average. Thanks for that, Ange. Appreciate you. 99.3. I'm not the bloke, sorry, Josh, to give you advice on Sam Switkowski, mate. Maybe see if there's some other blokes out there, some other content creators that, do you know what? Tag Damo, Footy Mailbag, and Freo Tragic, my man Dan Mashman. Tag those two, mate, in X, and ask them, because they'll give you the good oil on our boy Sammy. And wow, Ange, just while it says it here, 5 round of 95.6. I've just missed this. I must have just had tunnel vision, and just Sam Switkowski just used to just flicking past. Hey, Joshy, good call there, mate. Nice little find. And Ange, thank you very much for your help, mate. Appreciate you. Johnny, really want to keep my 2 trades to finals, Ange. Not sure if John, tell us about it, mate. This is what Jono and I are talking about. We don't know what's happening with him. Like, I've got mates in the content creators chat group that are adamant he's gone. He's VFL. Kirch gets injured, he comes in. Maybe he might get a sub role. I've got others that are saying, nah, he'll be back the next week. You know, maybe a bit of match fitness is that. You got to reward a winning team. I don't know, mate. I still don't know. It's so painful. Look, I'm not complaining, Johnny, because I've got 4. So, you know, I'm not crying absolutely poor here, mate. I'm not doing that. But this video I did the other way, you would have seen it, Johnny, being a member, that I did. You know, I went through my history and how many trades I had in my really, you know, in some of those successful years. I'm going the opposite of the advice of going back to that old school mentality, mate, by probably using the 2 this week. But just the way that I see it, in my position anyway, with being ranked 602 at the moment, like the advantage from going up, having to play a Bruce, you got a 35 last week, to playing a Caldwell on field, that's massive. You know, I wish I had of last week. I could have side swapped in one trade, fished a Caldwell last week. If I had done that, oh man, would have been close to top 400 rank, and one extra trade which I wouldn't have to use. But it is what it is, man. He's my brother. Love alive, Stocky. Thank you very much, brother. Congratulations, mate. Very proud of you as well. Proud of the 3 of us, mate, after what we achieved today. I can't say too much now to everybody, but yeah, some big stuff happened with the swordplay stuff that we're doing today. So stoked about that. Alrighty. Now, I know that these are old comments as well. So, yeah, 12 hoops. Obviously covered our boy SDK there, mate. Callum, hey, Cal, what are you doing with the fish now out, mate? I think, and sorry, just for those, this is part of the conversation, I suppose, Will Dawson in VFL. At least he's fit, Causa. That's good. Appreciate the info there, buddy. So, with fish out, mate, didn't want to show me team. All right, I'll tell you what, because you're here with me, guys. I'll show you my team. Actually, I can't at the moment because I'm doing this live. Sorry, I can't at the moment. All right. To explain, I'm going to trade him out. I think, mate. I'm going to trade him out. I just being in the VFL now, fit with question marks with McKercher coming in. I think I'm just going to move on from him now, because what I'd hate to do is say next week, because Caldwell's really the man I love. Next week, like, again, fit and available, again, not selected. We go to ourselves, oh, damn, we saw the warning signs. All of a sudden, Caldwell's out of reach, even with a couple of trades, depending on what you want to do. So I'm just going to get him out, mate. I'm going to get him out. I think I'm going to get Caldwell in. Don't even know what I'm doing with Gawn. Like, I'm thinking I could full send it, bro, and just, like, full send it. But I've got to go back to my principles. Also, do you still own Sexton? Yeah, mate. Well, that's the decision I've got. Like, do I actually keep on to Sexton? And just the fact that he's playing. I know Weller's back in a couple of weeks. I understand that. Just the fact that he's playing, he's still going to be my defensive cover in a way. So, yeah, it's such a tough one, mate. I don't know. I still don't know, mate. Jono, good member of the channel. Hey, buddy. Philippou, yes, obviously did go through him as well, mate. Hey, to Janet here from Ange, from Jono, Gilmore Legends. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, the Supercoach team, not so much. It's just, Jono, I can see you here, mate. Butters into Dunkley. Or you're asking Janeth. Is Janeth still around? If you're asking me, mate, yeah, Dunks should be such a solid, safe backup captain, mate.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's either Bont or Butters as VC, but I'm mainly thinking Butters due to the form he's been into recently.
Don't mind that whatsoever, mate. Ange is going Zeret into Dunks. So, yeah, love that Dunks. And Zeret, absolutely. No tag on Goulden, though. Yeah, probably Shields, you'd say, would go to Chatty Boy. But with Phillips out, I was surprised about that, actually. Liz serves without Stanley and Conway to cover Gawn. I don't think Blitz is going to be in the ruck, mate. If you're looking at him as a ruck in, I don't see it with SDK there. As a midfielder, maybe. If you see upside, mate, go for it. Jono, any interest whatsoever in the Blitz, or any positives that you can think of maybe that I haven't?
Nothing that's screaming out to me at the moment. Like, he can be Mr. Fix-It anyway, in the ruck, in the back line, on the wing, in the mid, on ball. You just don't know from week to week.
Yeah, it's tough. It's bloody tough, isn't it, mate? Oh, damn it. I lost all the comments again. This is carnage. I think this is right up to. Like a Jono. Any combo merit butters in the lines. Yep. So he's giving you the old clear, mate. So absolutely. What's twist and turn over? Cool, man. Thoughts on taking massive punt? I mean, Trent Rivers, yeah, mate. So obviously went through him. So good minds are thinking like there, mate. Absolute legend Gibbo. Yeah, he is, isn't he? And welcome, Joshua Torsman. Oh, I didn't realize Josh remember. Awesome. Welcome, Josh. Good on you, legend. Willie Carter. G'day, Will. DR, could you do a ranking on the best rucks to bring in for Gawn? Yeah, I'll tell you what, mate. If you're after that, go to the Swordplay potty, and Janet, Spills, and I go through where we would rank all the players, mate. But very quickly, TDK is now out for me, completely out for me, due to being a test, Rara and Pito coming into the side. So no for me. Nank, clear number one. I think Grundy, very, very safe. Sherry, extremely safe there as well. Don't like Rowan too much. English, I've just heard other owners complain about him so much, but who knows? He's got the ceiling. History could come back and go, all right, mate. And then probably as the player to at least make a little bit of coin, Lloyd Meek, I think he's going to be very safe as well, mate. But I think it's Nank if you can by a fair margin for me anyway, mate. Any Gov news? Is he a trade? Look, I think he's probably a hold, mate, for mine anyway, Carly. 1 to 2 is what I've heard. I don't think it's going to be any more than that, brother. Jono, new members, please be sure to send our DM so you get the stock market slides. Yeah, thanks, Jono. So anyone that is a new member, please send me an email so that I can add you to all the slides. There's been a bug in the system lately. Some been getting it, some haven't. So I want to start a completely new one here. And that way everyone hopefully will get all of the messages. There's like often video chat links there, stock market slides, lots of, stock market swordplay slides as well. So always stuff there. Make sure that you please contact me, though. All right, here's one of my faves. Shadow Minister. Hey, Sam, how are you, buddy? How do you thinking of flicking Kerno? Sorry, Janet. And Freya. Thinking Lawson Humphreys either Merritt or Butters. Yep, awesome. Yeah, Humphreys, absolutely, mate. Merritt or Butters? Jeez, can you really go wrong?
Splitting hairs there.
Oh, I wouldn't even know who to recommend there. I'm just going to go Merritt. He's been so super consistent, basically hasn't failed, has shown that he can actually score pretty well, even when tagged. So just zero it for me, though, mate. Just. And that's sort of on the spot, wanting to give an answer type thing. I'm sure if I thought about it more, it may lean to Butters. But maybe check out matchups and all the rest, buddy, and use that as a bit of a guide, mate. Relton, one of the all-time Supercoach greats is Relton Roberts. Fish still injured. Nah, mate, he's fit playing VFL this week, which is our big concern, mate. So, ouch. Look at how consistent he's been. Don't know who that was. Sorry, Josh, because he's old.
I think Cripps.
Cripper. Absolutely. Yeah. Love Cripper. Yep, love Cripper. All right, lots of these I've gone through. Aaron's got a good point here. Philip almost half his touches came in the last quarter. Could be a master stroke, but a massive risk. Absolutely. And that's why he's an abs type pick, Godfather type pick, as we know, mate. Cole, how are you, mate? Combin, yep, went through him, buddy. Went through the Kirch as well. Joshy says Mitch McGovern out. Yes, thank you, my man. Davo Smith, thoughts on McInerney? Yep, went through him, mate. So basically consistency is what you want to get, mate. Here we go. Rookie coach, AFL. Hey, buddy. How are you, man? Dear legend, how are we? Very good. Thank you, brother. Oh, actually, very good. I'm lying. I'm Supercoach-wise stressed out, man. Stressed out Supercoach-wise. But life is good. Thanks, brother. Traden Fisher. Do we like Dawson, Jezza, Rivers, or Stewart more? Dawson's been disappointing last three. Really disappointing when he played the Lions. Jezza, I like Trent Rivers out of that lot. Or possibly Stewart, given the fact he's seeing some mid minutes now, mate. Safest Stewart, highest potential upside for me, Rivers. Jono, any thoughts on those four, mate?
I'd say, as you said, Stu, then Rivers, then Jezza, then Dawson. Dawson is fallen off a big cliff.
Yeah, Jezza being that key forward, I can't recommend key forwards at the moment. So, yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit, mate. And I know that I did go through Rivers a little bit there as well. Talk a little bit about Stewart as well. So hopefully that helped in some small way, buddy. I can see Jack with Blitzavs. Yep, certainly talks about him, mate. Rolo Bloke, Oath Rollinson. Oh, now let me tell you, that is a name and a half. Rolo Bloke, Oath Rollinson. Just respect automatically for you, mate. Brent and I, just bloke is what we refer to ourselves as. Nothing else. No first names in there, just bloke. Appreciate you, man. Get our long-time listener. Thanks for all the great content and laughs. No worries at all. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, bud. I said recently in the official potty that would be nothing without the audience like yourself. So thanks for tuning in, man. Also, thanks. You've helped me get the misses into there. This is a win. Help me get the misses into Supercoach 2 with your legendary videos. Keep at it. Pod move specialist Rollo. Hey, thank you very much, Rollo. What is better than that? Getting the misses into it, mate. A lot of the time they think you might be with the mistress, but the mistress is Supercoach, isn't it, mate? You know, where is this bloke? You know, there's that meme, you know, with the boys and they're doing their fantasy teams, all this sort of stuff. So, mate, shout out to your missus as well. Please wish her all the best from us. And that is awesome to hear, man. Good on you, buddy. Jack Ebenson Blight. I reckon this is probably the stage where I'd forgotten about his name. And you've helped me out there, Jack, without me being able to see the comments. So I appreciate you, man. Joshy, that's a good idea. Maybe about trading in Blight for Zach Reed, maybe. Was that, mate? I'm guessing.
Or maybe one of your trade ideas that you were thinking of, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, mate. Thoughts on Cam Wilkie? Jono, I'll pass this on to you being a Saints man, mate.
Too much reliant on, as you saw last week against Sydney. That's the reason why he scored so much is intercept possessions in crunch moments of the game, or crunch moments of the game late. Often takes probably the third best forward every week, and that's probably what helps elevate his scoring a touch. So, I mean, he's more of a draft selection than anything in my eyes.
Yep.
But what a superstar since he's come across the club as well, just biased aside. Played every game since he's come across. Mature age pickup. Hell of a man.
Very true, mate. Very true. What a pickup he's been, even if you take the Supercoach out of it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I wasn't expecting him to do that well anyway, mate.
Where's the 44 with pride, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, very underrated is the man, mate. Very underrated is the man. Oh, sorry, and you've just said, I can help you, mate. Good man. Thank you, Jono. Jordan Stewart. Hey, George. Anyone know how long Fish is out for? Well, he's fit and available, mate, unfortunately. So, unfortunate. Jono, thoughts on Philippou? Yep, so hopefully gone through that for you, mate. Jono, is there anything that you want to add about Philippou being a Saints man yourself?
I think he'll get the role for the rest of the year. Inside mid for the rest of the year. Like, we need to keep getting games to him. That spell in the VFL for 6 to 7 weeks, I think it was. That's only enhanced his development even more into the role as an on-baller, even if it's being at the seconds level. Should hold him in good stead for the rest of the year and give him a whole lot of confidence after last week.
There you go, mate. Heard it from a Saints man himself.
And especially playing at home this week too.
Good point, Jono.
Yeah.
Good point.
It should go well.
Hey, yeah. If I've Gawn and Fisher and Jackson's cover, which one is a priority trade out? It's so tough, man, because like some people are thinking Fisher comes back next week. He's got that DPP status, blah, blah, blah. And then we know that Gawn's at least out for this week. He wants to be back the next, but I'm saying 2 weeks is my prediction, possibly 3. But just one thing is, right, that we know that Gawn's coming back. We know that Gawn is top of his position. With Fisher, we know bugger all, mate, apart from his fit, not even selected as an emergency. So, I'm going to say Fisher, but you may be along the line of thinking, going, well, we know Gawn's at least out for you too. Fisher could come back next week. I don't know, mate. It is. This is what's kept me up for the last 2 nights and that with Supercoach. I just don't know. I'm going Fish out myself. If that helps, I'm keeping Gawn, and I'm trading Fish. Jono, Gawn or Fish? First one out. Who do you reckon?
Fish.
Team dependent, I know.
Fish.
All right, there you go, mate. Both going Fish. James Park, hey, mate. ADR, we're in a Dubai airport on my way to Melbourne for the annual trip. Oh, beautiful, mate. Well, mate, hope you had an absolutely ripping time. And cold Melbourne at the moment, mate. It is shocking out there, mate. All right, Coops, should I trade in Mona's Wakefield and have more money for a possible 23rd or safety trade money or Manor and less money for better cover? I know nothing about the first bloke you just said there. Jono, do you? I can't even.
He's on the bubble this week. Has played the last 2 weeks.
Who's he play for? which teams he play for this bloke?
Melbourne.
For Melbourne. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I do remember that. Actually, thinking, what's his name? Yeah, I do remember that now. Sorry.
59 and 60.
They would have more money for a possible 23rd, or safety trade money, or mana and less money. Depends how many trades you got, mate. If you'd be going down your last trade, I'd actually have more money in there, so you can actually make a decent move. I think if you need to, just I'd lean that way, mate. All right. I think I'm almost at the end here. What's the time? Crap. I got to go literally in a few minutes here, guys. All right, Jono, I'm gonna turbo through, mate.
Yeah.
Miller to Cogs, injury-free run. Look, he could average that, but as you said, injury-free runs, what we're after, probably not for durability, in my opinion, mate. Missed some of this in the plane. Is Jackson the right forward? Ruck cover for Gawn? Absolutely, mate, but I'll just get him in as a forward, not as a Ruck only, mate. Well, no, he's not Ruck only, but in place of Gawn. Calls our shout, little Chris. You can do. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, he's a little legend by the sounds of it. All the best, Chrissy. Probably cover this already. Gawn, hold or trade. Look, very team dependent, mate. How many trades you got? I think he's a hold if you can. If you've got no cover, though, probably a trade to avoid a couple of donuts here, brother. McGovern 2 is a hold, in my opinion, mate. Brycey, get out here. Need one more forward for full promo side. 2 trades, 449. Do I hold rookies? Hope for more cash in trade Freya. Yeah, mate, I'd probably look if you can. If you've got 449 with one, if you can trade Freya to maybe a mana and then up that 440 odd to around the 5s mark, and then probably bring in Jye Caldwell is what I'd be looking to do, buddy. Without seeing your team, it's a little bit hard, mate, but as a basic, that's what I'd do, I reckon. James, are we holding Rankine or not? 4 trades left. No, we're absolutely trading Rankine, mate. We're absolutely trading him. 4 trades left with Gawn, Rankine, and Miller. Miller's must go whether or not to bite the bullet with Rank. Yeah, I would absolutely trade out Miller and Rankine, mate. They're both out for a month, which is half the season. It's 50% of the season. If you're ever going to use trades, I think it's in that scenario, mate. All the best, man. Turbo through. Kel... I'm lost. Got Miller, Gawn, Fisher, Sexton. Currently still on trading Gawn and Miller for Meek and Caldwell. I was thinking this exact move as well. Either I've got a donut this week if Sexton gets dropped. Yeah, or maybe wait for your team sheets there, mate. And then you can make a more informed decision based off what you know, not what we're guessing. Zerad or Dunks? I'll say Dunks is the safest premium mid that you can have, mate. Zerad potentially more upside, my friend. TDK trade out with Pito back. Look. He's not going to give you much, I don't think, mate. I don't think. Look, Curnow, there's worries that Curnow potentially are laid out as well. I'd say this. If Curnow's laid out, yes, he's a trade out for me. Because Janeth reckons he'll play 75% forward, which is no good. I can't believe we're saying this. It's just, he was such a good trade in a couple of weeks ago, man. Bad luck. All right, Josh, where do you find the email? All right, I'll post my own comment here, mate. Supercoach with DR at outlook.com is my email for members. Supercoach with DR at outlook.com. Yep, so I just commented that one there for you, Josh. You should be able to see in the comments, mate. All right. Johnny, ADR, watch a video you did for the members. So true about trades. I usually still have 6 left at this stage. In 2017, used my last 2 in my grand final, where I ended up rank 1,500. Great rank, Johnny. Well done, mate. Isn't it amazing? I reckon it is dead set, mate. The new school approach or way of thinking. Next year, John, as old school players, let's get back to our roots, brother, because it's not acceptable, is it really? Having 10 more trades and bugger all in the bank. Same stage when we had 30, we had like up to a third of our trades left. It's ridiculous, mate. So back to the old school, I reckon, is the go, mate. Right. right, big fan of content. Cheers, man. Do you think Zach Fisher's a must trade? I'm not going to say must, but I was on the fence, mate. And now, knowing that he's fit and available and not being selected, I'm leaning more towards yes. But he's not a must. I'm not going to say must. Think Harley Reid could explode, be a top finish? Look, possibly, mate. Look, his data and numbers don't suggest that. But given the fact that he's been able to have a rest during that suspension, that's always good for a young fella. We've seen 2 real big ceiling games. But keep in mind, second time he played the team, I think it was at Melbourne, where he had that big ceiling game, didn't do much. So potentially, mate, but it'd be a slight long shot to say explode, in my opinion anyway, mate. And that's it. That's it. We've got Josh saying, thank you, just emailed you. And... sorry, where am I looking? Jordan Stewart, big dogger in the top 6 forwards. Look, mate, a warm body is a top 6 forward at the moment, isn't it? But look, top 6, you got the big 3. I'm not including Rankine because he's gone for a month. Caldwell, Moore. Yeah, Dogger, Simpkin, maybe. Charlie, if he really turns things around. But yeah, I think he's good enough to have in your forward line anyway, mate. Good enough at a minimum for that insurance policy. All right. I cannot believe I actually got to the end there. I've been doing this for 2 hours and I'm late as well. But all good, guys. That's what we're here for. Jono, thanks for joining me late, mate. When I say joining me late, you've been lurking in the background there for the whole stream. Okay. I didn't notice that you were there. Sorry, mate. I was not looking at my screen. But thanks for joining me, mate. Now, saw a post that you put out on YouTube. Just haven't had time to put out a video yourself, obviously since being a super coach, but you gave us a little bit of a rundown there, mate, on your post. So awesome work, mate. Very much looking forward to a massive refresh from you next year, mate, when everything's in place and you found your way around the traps, mate, because doing a great job at the moment as you are, as is M-Man Rookie Coach. Yeah, thanks to you. I love the work you do for the SC community. Truly are a legend. Good luck for Carnage round. You too, brother. Thank you very much, mate. You're a great bloke. Have to have you on at some stage as well, mate. Give your channel a shout. If anyone doesn't know, Rookie Coach AFL does have his own channel, taking you through his journey as a rookie coach. So that's been fantastic to keep up with your progress, man. Much love, mate, and look after yourself, buddy. But Jono, any look on the Swordplay pod, I normally give this job to Spills about any final words of advice. For Spills comes up with something, and then Janet gives us this beautiful Shakespearean quote. Anything that you can leave the listeners with this week, mate? Is it a matter of just not watching any footy this week, avoiding the carnage, pretending that our Supercoach teams don't exist, just watching behind the couch with the hands over the eyes type thing, actually spend some time with some family, or take up another hobby, maybe build some Lego or Lego, as my Adelaide friends would call it, with its Lego. It's absolute Lego, just like Palmer is a Palmer, not a Palmy. I'm 100% on that too. I'm going on a tangent here, Jono. What I'm trying to say is, what on earth do we do to not be so affected by the carnage this week? Do we exercise, take a nice walk around a lake and feed some bread to some ducks, mate? What do we do?
Well, I always look at it this way. If you are set on thinking of doing something, do it. Because the moment you have that split second decision of going, shit, I don't think this will work out now, do it. The moment you split second your choice, it's between you'll be wanting to watch that play on the weekend that you want in your side, and then the split second you're like, oh shit, is that the right decision or not? So be sure in your concise thinking. Legends, be concise.
I like that, Jono. Be concise in your thinking. You're too good. Love to stream. Yeah, absolutely. We'll organise that for sure, mate, by the end of the year, buddy. Great advice, though, Jono, because it's a stressful time at the moment in Supercoach. It's a stressful time. But what I would keep in mind, we heard about little Chris before, who's crook in hospital. It's just a game. It is just a game. And I had like the Channel 9 theme song. It's more than a game. I'm saying the opposite, actually. I had that in my head. Look, it is a game. It's a game that we love. It's a game where I've managed to make some of the closest friendships in my life. So there's lots of great things about the game, but keep in mind that it is at the moment. Don't let it ruin your weekend like I do at times. Things are all good. And keep in mind as well, if you're looking at carnage this week, you are not the only one. We've all got carnage all over the shop. Poor old Janet, we really high rank your Millers, your McGoverns to add on top of the Heaney types and your fish types as well, and your Gawns. So there's usually people that are a lot worse off, unless you've literally got everyone. If that's the case, then good luck. There's not much that I or Jono or anyone can say that'll give you magic trades and all this sort of stuff and use 5 boosts in the run round, but don't lose your love of the game. Remember, there's always next year as well. Don't log off now. I'm not saying that. But if you're having a tough stretch, then lots of people are, and just enjoy yourself is the best thing that I could say. Gibbo, a membership. You're an absolute legend. I've just seen this as well to finish off with. Michael, appreciate live stream today. Thanks, mate. Donated $5. Mike, you didn't have to do that. I appreciate you, man. That is $5 closer to getting this laptop so I can get the quality of these videos right up again, mate. I hate not delivering quality. And I just haven't been able to with the technology and the devices that I've been working with lately. So that'll go a long way towards that, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, buddy. And I appreciate you tuning in. I'll say it again. Without the audience, the content is absolutely nothing. So, Jono, thank you for joining me. Everyone in the comments section that has been watching at some stage, thank you very much for joining me. I know that there'll be lots of you that may be catching up with this when you get home from work. Apologies, it is out late, but thought I'd do a live just to put something out there and give some advice and views and some opinions on Carnage Week. Let's just call it Carnage Week. So, Jono, I better get to Riv now. I was meant to start looking after him about 50 minutes ago. So I may not survive this night. I'm going to be in the doghouse in the bad books. But, hey, all worth it, mate, to chat some Supercoach. Mate, thank you very much again for joining us. Before we go, where can we catch you on YouTube?
Saint being a Supercoach.
Being a Supercoach. Tell you what, Saints are marching again after a nice victory. So, mate, all the best for your boys. All the best for all of your teams, guys, AFL-wise and Supercoach-wise. Good luck navigating Carnage round, and I will see you soon in the next one. Cheers, guys. Catch you, Jono. You. See you.